Hi, my name is Aaron James Draplin, and this is the Rumpel times DDC collab. Give me that thing. Can you just chill out with the thing? Throw me the thing. A little effort, you know. It's not like we're doing a Criterion Collection video here. Okay, give me the fucking. All right. I got to make this thing. Now, what these guys call it, they call it an everywhere blanket. And I know that when you see some of the initial stuff, you know, there's a technical element to this thing, that how it all collapses into this thing, how it packs into this thing. But I'll just tell you right now, there's nothing technical about me on that couch, laying there scratching my. Well, listen, this is the DDC, you know, design on a Rumpel, you know, we'll call it chassis. And what's cool about this stuff, these guys make all kinds of different things. And I got to go through and put my design on their little, you know, their blank will say it, but you know, this should have never happened. What's cool about it is, like, now if you are going in your van or you're going camping or something, this thing works. But you know, me in there watching some Netflix or whatever it's gonna be, it works there too. And that's what was really fun about this whole project. This isn't just for some happy outdoor camper guy. Sure, we have this big graphic on here. No, this is just for watching Netflix too. And that's really interesting because I wanna make things that work for everyone. Certainly not just those who can afford it. These things are affordable. They work on that couch. They work out in the woods. They collapse down to these kick-ass little blankets. It's just a cool thing. You guys are asking about the design process in this thing. I mean, first of all, it was pretty mellow. I mean, you guys kind of blew me away when I went in and I saw the ability that you had to make really anything. From some of that sort of like super high-res photo stuff on this to, you know, some pretty cool, pretty now geometric stuff. You know, that stuff, that's all going to change. You'll make the next thing in a couple months. You proved to me right out of the gates that you can make whatever we want to make. But, you know, for me, it's sort of like, what's the opportunity here? You know, first of all, functionally, it's cool to have just an orange blanket, but it's another thing to say, would you ever see one of my posters on something this big? It becomes its own poster in itself, you know? Like, I can't wait to see the first photo of this thing, like when it's soaking wet and some guy just whips it up over his van on the beach or something and the thing dries out in a couple hours. That's a real thing, and that can be this awesome outdoor scene. That's where my mind goes. You know, my mind goes to, like, you know, can we have art in the simplest of things? And the answer is yes. Here's the deal. Both of these work for what I need on that couch watching Netflix, you know. This thing is a little more my speed because it's a little more comfy and, you know, whatever. These things kind of slide off, you know, the girth a little bit. But if, you know, I can't wait to have one of these in the back of the Volvo. Because if, you know, someone got cold, we've got that thing compact. That's really cool that exists. This will just be in a pile on the couch, sure. On one side, it's just this with a little bit of piping, a big old comfy black thing. It works with everything. It's got a little hit of DDC. But the sneak attack, kind of like anything with the DDC, is by the time you open it and get inside to play with it, you're going to see hopefully my humor and half-assed sense of the world come out. You know, you do. You know, and that's just fun that it can exist from this to this. You know, it's all in the hands of whoever picks this thing up. I'm excited to see, you know, happy, earthy, outdoory people who wear pants that zip down to shorts and all that other bullshit, Nalgene bottles and happy dogs, walk up to this thing and just sort of be into it. I did my job. I did my job. Can my graphics work for them? Yes, they're working here for them. And then can they work for this big job of the hot pile of shit who's watching Netflix or whatever the hell it is? Yes, they can work for them too. So we covered the entire spectrum from happy, healthy people to big piles of shit with our Rumpel times DDC collab. Okay, so I just went and grabbed a couple things here because this is the kind of stuff we used to have floating around. Now, be it a Yakima Sunshine or be it a Nesbitt's Orange Soda can, who knows what years these were from, but the idea is they were really fun to look at. Like, why can't this thing be fun to just be up on a wall? It could be. Why can't the graphic be? See, that's a lot of the stuff I kind of want to make is, yes, it's this weird idealized version of the outdoors. But for me, I get to go 2 or 3 times a year. It's not something every other day. And when I go out, I want it to be this. And so there's something about, you know, tipping back an ice cold Yakima Sunshine. This is a joke can. You know, you don't open it because it's filled with the Yakima Sunshine, but we used to make these things and they were just pleasing to have in your hands. And why can't they be pleasing to be, you know, on this cool little bag? Well, they can. you know? So that's like exciting to me to make that kind of stuff accessible for everyone. Listen, you know, it was a big, big goal just to get a job in any sort of these industries, be it snowboarding, be it action sports, or how about this, just working for a cool place. And I've worked for cool places. But what you realize is like, you know, there's times and things and stuff and energy, and even though those places were great to work for, I had a different set of energies I had to go to apply to other things, which were, you know, this opportunity to see what I could do on my own, right? It was a scary jump, but I made sure I had plans in place, I had money saved, I had clients starting to build little retainers up, and then I made that jump as effective as I could. It wasn't a take this job and shove it kind of situation. It was more like, I have my rent paid for 2 to 3 years based on savings, right? That's the smart way to make that jump. I mean, creatively, I just wanted to see what I could do from my own hand. And I'm just proud to report my first year on my own in 2004, 2005, I tripled my wage the year before when I was working in the cool spot. But when I had the entire day to work on my things, it exploded. So that, you know, I gambled on myself with a series of safe bets, and it paid off, and I'm never going back. In the last couple of years, it's been pretty awesome. And, you know, with more people being interested in what I do, I tend to forget to talk about certain things, you know, like I really need to, you know, kind of say thank you to certain parts of my life all the time, which would be, a big one was the snowboard industry. You know, the outdoor world, sure, but there was when I was in it, there was a really clear delineation between happy hikers and a bunch of snowboard scrubs. But I'm really thankful because not only did it provide me, you know, the money to pay my rent, but also I got to work with my friends. And that is a rare thing anywhere in the world. The idea that we found this little niche and I got to go work with these guys, and I got busy. I took every job that came down the line, be it a board graphic, whatever. When we made Snowboard Magazine, all of us, those are a bunch of buddies rolling the dice on themselves. And we managed to make that work for a lot of years. So, you know, I'm really thankful for that, because here's the thing, I've seen a lot of things in the last bunch of years. And I've also heard every kind of story. And, you know, if I had a buck for every story where I heard, yeah, when I cut my teeth, it was in this really shitty industry, I'd have about 19 bucks, whatever that is. You know, I didn't do it that way. I got to cut my teeth and learn how to work hard with my friends. And I will forever be thankful for that. When people ask me my path, I am so proud to say, before success or any sort of like stable situation being a graphic designer, it was all about just being with your friends, being outside, you know, getting weird out there in the mountains. Like, I'm so thankful I had 5 winters of that stuff, because from 19 to 24, I went all over the West. I was going up to Alaska to work. And then of course we were these like athletic, you know, creatures ripping around Mount Bachelor and other places in the Northwest. I'm just really thankful I had that experience while I was young, while I was healthy, while I was wilder, and then got my shit together when I was 25 years old and went back to school, and I've never looked back. You know, I get challenged a lot about the size of what I do. Smarter people than me, every couple months come to me and say, hey, we see what you're doing, but we could put money into this thing and make it even bigger. And my reaction every single time is, but why? You know, like why do you want to build this thing so it's less fun or even make more money? Like, how much do you even need? I only need one shirt, so I buy one shirt and it's falling apart. But I would rather have a life where I use my stuff than have 10 of them sitting inside there, you know? So to answer that, it's like, I don't know. It's easier to watch over just me. But really what this whole thing is about is just managing, you know, how much do I need? And how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to spend my time, you know, Hawkeyeing some poor kid who's just trying to get a paycheck sometimes? Because that's kind of what it turns into. Or even this, even having an intern. I don't need an intern. You know, what would the intern do here? The intern would break down the boxes. I pride myself on breaking down the boxes. I pride myself on vacuuming this place. This is about size and scale and how much you need in your existence. I mean, where this stuff nets out, it's Lee and I back here. And when we are done with the day, we wrap it up and we go spend time doing other things. Like, it's really nice to be able to cinch things up. When we go on the road, it's me I have to worry about. You know, is the merch coming with me? I have to send that with me. Here's the deal. I just want less and less variables to have to sweat out. You know, this is, of course I want to be on my own. It's just me making the decisions, you know. I get the buzz when I go out into the public and either talk about what I do or teach kids about what I do, or, you know, what a privilege to go and share that stuff. I get the buzz there. But to come home here, make a list, chop that list off, have to worry about just myself and whatever Lee needs help with. You know, can you just be a one-man band in your backyard? Turns out you can. I mean, there are support people to help, of course, my Lee and, you know, my brother-in-law Jacob. But for the most part, you can make this happen. And I love to tell a kid that. It's a rare thing. But with hard work, you know, it can happen. This is proof. There's a really nice paycheck that no one ever talks about. It's just the buzz of being able to share with people, you know, and say, I'm not going to be this guy who's guarded and going to hold all the things I've learned, because the coolest people along the way, they broke me off a little something and made my life a little better. Now, if that's only graphic design, I'm really proud to do that. But that happens with everything, from furnaces to, you know, how to build an awesome studio to, you know, how to get healthier. People come along and they share because they're a certain kind of open person. I wanted to be one of those, be it with my practice or be it just with the way I live my life. I mean, just even the way I communicate with people. I want to talk, you know, and make them comfortable. You guys want to talk about music, huh? Well, I went and grabbed a stack of records here from my very favorite Portland band, Richmond Fontaine. You can hear them playing right now in this fine film. You know, as one of my favorite bands in the Northwest. I got to meet Willie in about 2004 or 5 or something. And then he started to ask sort of for help on things. So I have been able to work for my favorite band in Portland for years, doing everything from record covers and designs and things. I'm talking the entire record, right? From the actual record itself to the, you know, little label, to the liner notes with all the little, you know, things and goodies and stuff all over it. My favorite thing in the world to make is a record, because there's so many little parts and pieces. And on top of that, it's just like this physical thing that you get to play with and listen and enjoy and savor. And it's a special, rare thing. I mean, there used to be a world of this stuff, you know, 25, 30 years ago. But it's kind of turned into this weird thing where you have to be really smart about how you play it, right? So all these years of making these different Richmond Fontaine records for Willie has just been one of my greatest sort of professional privileges in town here, is that I got to work for a friend. I got to work for something that just was not supposed to happen ever, you know, and each one is a triumph. And that's the way I look at records. I don't look at it the same way with, you know, some of the ads and things that I make, or a banner ad. I get it. That's the currency of just how to sell things. That's all. Those are all the components, you know. But there's something about a record, and of course, even the way to store them, that's really special, because they're these rare things. They're going away faster and faster and faster. They're making little you know, attempts to come back, but it just shouldn't happen. So, you know, harness that in your work. Land on those things and savor them, because it's rare. Okay, when you ask me sort of a pie in the sky question, where it's like, if I could work on anything I wanted to work on, I mean, honestly, I don't really know what I would want to go do, because I've been really lucky to work for, well, blue is blue, liberal causes. I got to work for Mr. Obama. I got to work for Bernie. I got to work for things I believe in, because you guys know how I vote. Really, it's like the main thing is I just want to be able to make a living and enjoy it. Selfishly, I want to make fun things that people can afford. I want to make things that people enjoy. You know, to have these Rumpel guys out here and to make a big fuzzy blanket like this, like some, you know, the other guy, that's a little more outdoory or just a little bit lighter, like this thing. And me on that couch in there watching some stuff, it's pretty cool, you know. And I want to make things that people enjoy, have a sense of humor to it, you know, and don't take ourselves too seriously, that you can throw in the wash and then go survive it, you know. I mean, everyone needs a blanket. Take one. Can you not get it in my face? Take two. Not in the face. Take 336. Watch the Creed records. Take 665.